Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing great. In this video, we'll be discussing what bubble sort is and how this algorithm works. So let's get started. So guys, in bubble sort, right, basically we compare adjacent elements. Okay, so let's say here if we have 7 and here we have 5. So when we will sort these numbers, right, 5 ideally should come first and then 7 should come, right? So in bubble sort, what we will do, we will compare adjacent elements, we will compare these, and if the greater number is at first position and the smaller number is at second position, we will swap them so that 5 can come first and then 7 comes. Okay. So this is what the principal bubble sort works is, that we'll be comparing adjacent elements. All right. So let's quickly see how the algorithm works. Let's dry run once. So in bubble sort, right, what we do is we do iterations. Okay. We will do iterations. What do you mean by iteration? Iteration means that just going through this array once. Every element of array once. Okay. So let's say we will iterate the array and let's do the first iteration. So let's say I is equal to 0 and our I value will go from 0 to n. Okay, it will go from 0 to n. What is n? N is the number of elements in this array. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 elements, right? So n will be 5. Okay, n will be 5. So our I value will go from 0 to, it will go from 0 to 5. That means it will go to 0 to less than 5. That is 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. These will be the I values. Okay, these will be the I values. Okay, so what we will do here is we will be iterating. So let's say first our value of I is 0. Okay, first value of I is 0. Now when I is 0, right, what we have to do in this iteration is we have to compare each and every adjacent element and we have to check whether they are in correct position or not. This is what we do in each iteration. So what we do in each iteration, we compare the adjacent elements. Okay, this is what we do. So let's start. So when we have to compare the adjacent elements, right, we will take another pointer j, which will start from 0 to, it will go to the last. Okay, something like that. And it will not go to till the last, it will go till the second last element, because we will compare this and this, right? Because when we reach here, we do not have anything to compare, so it will go till the last element from 0 to n minus 1. Okay, so let's start the algorithm. So we have I value as 0 and j value here as 0. Okay, j value as 0. Let me do quickly the indexing. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So initially our I value is this. I value is this obviously and j value is this. So what we do every time, right, we will compare ARR of j. Okay, let me just write it here. Every time we will compare ARR of j and ARR of j plus 1. So if ARR of j is greater than the ARR of j plus 1, we will swap both the elements. Okay, so let's see how. Let's say I'm currently my j is 0, right? So I'm at 0 index. I will compare 0 and j plus 1, that is 1 index. So I will compare this element and this element. I will see that, okay, this is j index element and this is j plus 1 index element. Is j index element greater than j plus 1 index? Yes. So we have to swap both of these elements. That is, we have to swap. Okay. So what I will do, I will swap these two elements and now my array becomes something like this. It becomes 2, 5, 4, 3 and 1. Okay. Now my j increments and it comes to 1. So now j is here. Earlier j was here. Now j is here. Okay. Now again I will compare these two elements. This is j plus 1 index. So again j element is greater than j plus 1. So we will swap both. Now the resultant array will become 2, 4, 5, 3, 1. Okay, and j will now increment to 2. So now j will come here and j plus 1 is this. Okay, again we will compare j and j plus 1. So j value is greater than j plus 1, hence we will again swap. So now the array will become 2, 4, 3, 5 and 1. We just swapped 5 and 3. We just swapped these two. Okay. Again j will increment and j will become 3. So now j is at this index and j plus 1 is this. Okay. Now again 5 is greater than 1. So we will again swap. So now our array become 2, 4, 3, 1 and 5. 1 and 5 are swapped. Okay. So now we do not need to further do the j iteration because j has reached the second last index. Okay, so this is one iteration, I is equal to 0 iteration completed. Okay, and if you see guys, at the completion of this iteration, if you notice this thing, the largest element, right, the largest element which was there, that is 5, has reached to the end position, which is its final position, Okay, so what does this conclude? This conclude that the end of every iteration, right, the largest element will reach at its correct position. So in the next iteration, 4, which is the second largest, will reach to the correct position. So you will see that. Let's iterate now further. Okay, so this was the array which, this is the array which we got in the last iteration, right? This is the array which we have got, and I will now become 1 because I was 0 earlier, and now I has incremented. J will again run from 0 to n minus 1. So it will run from 0 to n is 4. Oh, sorry, n is 5. So 5 minus 1, which is 4. That is 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 iteration. These will be the j values. Okay. And this is our array. This is our array, which we got from the last iteration. Okay. All right. So I value is 1 and j will range from 0 to 1 to 3. So initially, so let me just quickly do the indexing here. 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So initially, now j is where? J is at 0 index. So j will start from here. So j is here and this is j plus 1. We will see whether j value is greater than j plus 1. No, it's not. So we will not do anything. Okay, we will not do anything and j will move. So j was what? J was 0. J was 0. Now j will become 1. Okay. So now the next iteration 2, 4, 3, 1, 5 it will remain as such, and now j will become 1. So j is now here. Okay, we will compare j with j plus 1. So j is greater than j plus 1. So we will have to swap. So once we swap, so 4 will come at 3 position and 3 will come at 4th position. So this will be the array. And j value will, so now j again will increment. J becomes 2. So j comes here. And this is j plus 1. So again j is greater than j plus 1. So we will swap. After swapping, it will become 2, 3, 1, 4 and 5. Okay. Now j will increment again and the last value of j is 3. So j will reach here. And now we compare j with j plus 1. So it's fine. We do not need to swap. So at last, this is our array which we have got after this iteration, which is I is equal to 1 iteration. And if you see now, the second largest element has reached its correct position. So in the first iteration, right, in the first iteration, 5 has reached the last position. In the second iteration, which is I is equal to 1, 4 has reached its correct position. So similarly, when we will do the third iteration, the third largest element, which is 3, will reach its correct position, that is here. You will see that. Okay. So if you see now, we have got this array. Okay, we have got this array. Let me just write it here. Go. And now we will do the next iteration, which is I is equal to 2. We will do I is equal to 2 now. J will again start from 0, 1, 2, 3. And yeah. Okay. So let's say 0, j start from 0 initially. So j is here. Let me just quickly do the indexing. So when we do the indexing, right, it will be 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So j is here. So j and j plus 1, this is, so j is not greater than j plus 1, so it will remain as such. So let me just write the array 2, 3, 1, 4 and 5, and our j value will get incremented. Now j will now become here. Okay, now let's start. So now j value is greater than j plus 1, so we'll swap. So after swapping, it will become 2, 1, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, now again j will become 2, so j will come here. These do not need to be. So see guys, this is like unnecessary iteration. Now if you see, unnecessary iteration. Why unnecessary? Because we already know that when we have reached I is equal to 2, right, the third largest element will be at its correct position, and these two also will be at correct position. So there is no need to compare these and these, right? Like, we do not need to compare them actually, because we know that they already have reached their correct position. Otherwise, like, we will just compare. So 3 is less than 4, so no need to swap. So j will increment and will become 3. So we will write this array here. So now j is at here, so we will not swap, and we will just, so this is our final array, which is we got after the base iteration. Second, I is equal to 2 iteration. Okay, now let's do the I is equal to 3 iterations. Now in I is equal to 3 iteration, guys, j will start from 0 to 1, 2, 3, right? So initially j value is 1. That is, let me do indexing 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So j is here. Okay, j we will compare with j plus 1. So we will have to swap because j is greater than j plus 1. We will swap it and it will become 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Right. J will increment. Now j will come here. And we do not need to swap it again. So when j will increment to 2, j will come here. We do not need to swap. So these are now unnecessary iterations because we know that these will already be at the correct position. Okay. So this is one optimization which we can do in related to j values, that at some point of time, right, it's related to I. So in the third iteration, right, like this iteration, we already know that these are the correct positions. So we have to have j's value in such that, in such way, in a such a way that we know that, okay, we, when I is equal to this much, we only need to iterate till this. No need to do again these. Right. So this is one optimization which we can do. Okay, now let's say we have done the I is equal to 3 iteration. Now let's say it's time for I is equal to 4. Okay, because I will range from 0 to n, which is n was 5, right? So it will range from 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so now it's the last iteration. So now let's say see the area we have. We have areas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have, let me just quickly do the indexing 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, at I is equal to 4, again j will be from 0 to 3. So initially here we have, do not need to swap, j will increment, it will come here. Do not need to swap, right, it's at correct, so j will increment, it will come to here. At 3, no need to swap, j will increment, it will come here, and no need to swap. So guys, did you saw this, that in I is equal to 4 iteration, we did not do any swap. No swap at all. No swap at all. Right? We did not do any swap. Right? So, in that case, what we can identify? Okay, this is one also optimization. We have to see that, okay, there was no swap at all. So, how can we deal with this? So at last, if you see that we have got the sorted array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Just the basic algorithm which I am showing you. We got the sorted array. So earlier our array was, if you see, earlier our array was 5, 2, 4, 3, 1. And after bubble sort, we got our sorted array. Right? We got our sorted array. Now let's quickly see the code, and then I will tell you 2 optimizations which we can do in bubble sort. Okay. So code is something like this, that we have got some array. Okay, we have got this array and we have to sort it. So we will just ignore this for now. Okay, and now here we will just iterate. We will have I ranging from 0 to n as we discussed, and we have j. And don't see this right now, just imagine that we have j ranging from 0 to n minus 1 it will be, right? Something like this, which we discussed. And every time we will compare that, okay, ARR of j is greater than ARR of j plus 1, then we just simply swap. Okay, and then that is it. Okay, just ignore this. Now, so this is basic sorting algorithm. Basic algorithm. I hope you understood the basic algorithm. Now let's see the two optimizations which we can do. So guys, if you remember, I discussed with you that at every iteration, right? Whenever we do every iteration, let's say when we did I is equal to 0 iteration, this one, our largest element came to the last position 5. Right. So when we did I is equal to 1, I is equal to 1 iteration, then our second largest element came at the right position. And then when we do I is equal to 2 iteration, I is equal to 2, right? We got our third largest at the correct position. Right. Similarly, when your I value is increasing, right, your elements are more and more elements are going at the correct position in every iteration. In every iteration. So the j value, right? J value, we do not have to every time go from j to 0 to n minus 1, right? We can optimize this j value to something like 0. J will range from 0 to n minus I minus 1. Okay, n minus I minus 1. So in this case, let's say when I am at I is equal to 2, right? My j value will be from 0 to n is 5 minus I is 2 minus 1. So it will be from 0 to 2, that is 0 and 1. So I only need to have I from 0 to, I only have to I do the j iteration 0 and 1. So j will be 0 and j will be 1. Because already the last elements will be at correct position. So I just only need to compare the two for the just the front two elements. No need to again check them because they are already in the correct position. So this is one optimization. So if you see here in the code, we will range j from 0 to n minus I minus 1. Okay, this is one optimization. And second optimization is that if you remember when we did I is equal to 4, right, our no element was swapped. Here everything was at the correct position, nothing was swapped, right? So let's say if nothing is swapped, right, we will have a variable swapped initially to false, right? If something gets swapped, right, like if you remember earlier we had 2 greater than 1, right? Here 2 greater than 1, so we did the swap. So we will, if that is the case, we will update swap to true. If any one of at least one swap is done, we will update it. But if no swap is done, right, like in the case of I is equal to 4, no swap was done. In that case, this swapped variable will remain false. And if swap is false, just break from the loop then. So if there is I is equal to 5, I is equal to 6, further iterations, right, no need to do them. No need to do those iterations. Because at I is equal to 4 only, we did not got any swap. So obviously we will not get at I is equal to 5 and I is equal to 6 also. So this is one more optimization which we can do. So here if you see, I have a variable swapped at every iteration. If any one of the swap is done, we will update it to true. But if there is no swap done, then we will check if swap is still false. If it is, we will just break. So I hope you understood this optimization also, so that there are two optimizations which we have done. Let's understand the time complexity of this algorithm. So the time complexity of this algorithm, if you see here, we have two loops. One is the outer loop and other is the inner loop, and the inner loop is dependent on I, which is the variable of outer loop. So this is a nested loop, right? So we will have time complexity as n square, and space complexity is constant because we are not using any array list, any extra data structure to store anything. We just only have variables. So when we only have variables, right, space is constant and time is n square. So I hope you understood bubble sort, and I would highly recommend dry run yourself. And if you like the video, please like it, share with your friends, subscribe to my channel, and let me in the comments if you have any doubt. Thank you.